So today we're going to look at the continuation of public cooperation, and we have 4 more objectives to deal with today. We're going to discuss the organizational structure or chart of the public cooperation. We're going to study the differences between public cooperation and the civil service. We're going to discuss the control of the public cooperation and then list the problems faced by the public cooperation. Now, whenever we're listing problems, always tell yourself, can you provide solutions? It's very important. If you can provide solutions, that means you understand basically what we're talking about, right? So you may not see solutions at the end of this note, but I'm expecting you to provide solutions to the problems we're going to discuss, right? Very crucial. So the minister is the head of the public corporation. The political head is appointed by the president, while the commissioner is appointed by the state governor. And he works in hand with the board of directors. So the board of directors they initiate and formulate policies for the corporation. They account to the minister. Then under the board of directors, you have the managing director. The managing director assists the members of the board in the day-to-day affairs of the public corporation, and they help execute policies made by the board of directors. Now we have administrative officers. These officers they supervise the rest of the staff. They also assist the managing director. Technical officers are regarded as the heartbeat of the public corporation. They are experts. They are schooled in the different fields of life. They are involved in the maintenance of the equipment of the facilities of the public corporation. So we also have the clerical officers who help other officials, the officials above, in performing their duties, like the secretaries, typists, clerks, sales. They help keep records and document information properly. Now, the auxiliary class are the lowest. They are like the messengers, the drivers, the gardeners, the cleaners, etc. Now, difference between public corporation and civil service. The board of directors manages the affairs of the public corporation. Now, a minister, a commissioner also manages the affairs of the civil service, and he is being fed information by the permanent secretary. Workers in the public corporation are called public servants. Workers in the civil service are called civil servants. Managing director is the head of the public, is the administrative head. Administrative head, not political head. Why the civil servant is the administrative head of the why the permanent secretary is the administrative head of the civil service. Workers are employed by the board of directors. Workers are employed by the Civil Service Commission. Right? Public corporation provides essential services for the people. Civil service makes and implements government policies. Decision making is made easy. It's easy because there is no bureaucracy here. We discussed it in the lesson. In civil service, decision making is not. It is difficult because there is bureaucracy. Public corporations, though profit making is, though they make profits. However, it is not the motive or the reason for which it was established. Right? Civil service is a non-profit making organization, right? So you can get more examples of differences or similarities between public corporation or civil service. These ones are clear enough. If you had followed us in the notes, you would have come to pick out some of these points we are mentioning here. Now, how is the public service controlled? You have the parliamentary control or legislative control. They can summon the ministers in charge of this public corporation if there are issues that has to do with underperforming, mismanagement of funds and whatsoever. Now, the activities of public corporation can be controlled through financial appropriation. Allocation of funds to public corporation can be used to control them. So they can either be given a given amount to check how money is used, or it can be withdrawn. It all depends on the scenario, right? So the releasing of funds is used to checkmate how the public corporation, spend or manage their finances. Now, ministerial control. The policy and direction of the government is communicated to the corporation through the minister. So the minister passes this info to the board of directors. Right? So the minister is the link between the public corporation and the government. Remember, he's the political head. So no major policy can be executed by the board of directors without consulting the minister. So the judiciary can also control public corporation and can stop them from executing policies which are unconstitutional or illegal, right? Now, the press or the public can also discuss these things in a civil service. Now, the board of directors represents the vested interest of the public. Therefore, they can issue policy directives for the internal management to implement. So the board of directors are the administrative head of the public corporation, right? So they can issue directives, they can decide. However, whatever they do must be done with the approval of the minister. Now, what are the challenges that faces public corporation? A lot of them. Government interference, right? And this is one of the key issues that affect public corporation. Government can decide to appoint and put in board of directors that they want to be there. So government can, through fund allocation, can also restrict or sort of debar public corporations from functioning effectively. Also, there are a lot of issues that has to border on corruption and mismanagement of funds. You see, recently, Nigerian government has sold NEPA, that means National Electric Power Authority. They have sold it. They have privatized it. Soon they may do the same to NRC because of embezzlement of funds, mismanagement, corruption. So who knows? It's crazy, right? So the funds being disbursed are not used for what they are meant to be used for. Now it leads us to number 3, lack of accountability. The operations of many public corporations are not transparent. So there are a lot of cover-ups because they abuse finances. Many ministers and board members are there for their personal aggrandizement. So whatever they are doing there is in their own personal interest, not in the interest of the public corporation. This leads us to option 4, inefficiency, poor productivity, poor management. Maybe they are employing the wrong people, right? So many public corporations, that's number 5, require large capital for them to work efficiently. And if they are not well funded, they cannot achieve their goals. They cannot render, right? They cannot get to the point where they become self-sustaining, right? So they require fund. Now, inadequate manpower or poorly trained personnel. This is linked with tribalism. When you employ people based on tribal sentiments or whatsoever, right? Most often they are not properly trained. So the corporation is lacking the right manpower to execute its day-to-day affairs. We have to note some of these things. Now, we now have vandalization, tribalism, and the likes, double standards. Now, can you proffer solutions to some of these problems we are discussing here? Can you proffer solutions? Think about them. If you understand this topic, you should be able to. Like you can talk about the Public Service Commission training and retraining of its staffs, right? So that they can be efficient. And government should timely release funds to these public corporations so that they can perform their functions as and when due, diligently. So we're going to rest our case here. You see what it says here? By solving all these problems enumerated above, which are accountability, adequate finance, cooperation, staff training, and the likes, this is how we can ensure public corporations work efficiently, right? So please take a look at this topic, play the video again and again, get a textbook, or you can pick up my textbook, which I will be publishing soonest, and use it to guide you as you learn or as you read or watch this video. It's very important to understand these things that we are discussing here is affecting our nation on day-to-day basis, right? So I'm going to rest my case here. If you have any question, feel free to ask, put it in the comment section. I'll be looking at it there and I'll be responding ASAP.